Hello everyone, this is Aqua and you are watching Aqua Giri, and in this video I will talk about one of my followers who is from who is from Canada, and he have asked me that sir, since my childhood I am wondering why in the world only the forest area get the maximum rainfall, and why there is and why the plain areas like just imagine if you are living in the southern part of America like New Mexico and the Mexico, they don't get that much of rainfall. Why it is like that? So in this video I will talk about it and explain it to you that why in the world only the forest area gets the maximum rainfall. So there is a reason for that. As you know, what forest is? Forest is basically what you say, a population of trees, a jungle of trees, means lots of trees live there. And trees always produce oxygen, pure oxygen, and pure oxygen is always little lighter than the air. As you know, what you say, the CO2 is heavier, but oxygen is lighter than CO2. But you know what happens when the tree produces the CO2? Oxygen. Whenever the tree produces the oxygen, it is very cooler than the CO2 present in the atmosphere. In terms of density, CO2 is denser than oxygen, but in terms of heat, CO2 is what to say, lighter than oxygen. Can you imagine this odd state of heat? Now just imagine environment is full of CO2. All the environment is full of CO2 because animals are also living in the atmosphere of the jungle, and other things are also living like insects, what you say, bugs and things like that are also living in the atmosphere of the jungle. And just because of that reason, the jungles produce CO2, but the CO2 produced by the animals comes from the respiration process. The respiration process that we intake the oxygen and gives out the CO2. But always remember, the CO2 produced by the respiration process is always in an exothermic reaction. You know what is exothermic reaction? In which the reaction in which the heat is produced, it is called exothermic. And the reaction in which the heat is absorbed, it is called endothermic reaction. So the trees are doing the endothermic reaction, the photosynthesis process. The sun is falling on it, sunlight is falling on the leaves of the trees, and it is absorbing the water, doing the metabolism process in the leaves and producing the oxygen. And since the water is going inside the the leaves, and oxygen is producing by the breakdown of the chemicals that is present inside the leaves, and oxygen is forming, the metabolism process that is producing the oxygen from the leaves is cooler. So in terms of density, if you compare the density of CO2 and oxygen, carbon dioxide is always heavier than oxygen, but since it is exothermic, it is little lighter than oxygen. So when you go to the jungle environment, inside a big jungle, to be honest, and when you go at the time of night, in the evening, not at the time of dusk, you know the dusk are the most polluted time in terms of dust, and everything that is present in the atmosphere is floating around the environment, and things like that. So dust, not dust. Whenever you go at night in the jungle, or in the morning time, to be honest, in dawn time. Dawn is the time where it is the sunrise is about to happen. That is called the dawn, the dawn time. Just go, which we call bhor in India, bhor. Bhor, not bhor, to be honest, around the time of 3 to 4 o'clock. That is called bhor, means dawn time. And when this happens, during this time, the oxygen level which is present in the environment, in the atmosphere of the jungle, it is already cooler, but it also but because of the what to say cool environment and the coolness of the night, all the oxygen present in the atmosphere goes in the lower section of the forest, and just because of that reason a mist is formed and it becomes denser and the CO2 rises. Now just imagine a forest area which is cool, which is very cool, and other areas which is little hotter, or land areas. Just imagine this is a ecosystem. Just imagine this is a circle. Okay, this is a circle. Here is forest. Here is a land. Okay. Yeah, or just imagine this area, this dome-like structure. Here is forest and this is land. Now just imagine this is colder. What happens? This is colder. What happens? It attracts the hot air. Whatever is colder attracts the hot air, because cold wants to become hot and hot wants to become cold. It's a simple process, the neutralization process of the environment. Hope you got it. The atmosphere always try to neutralize it and want to balance the environment, and just because of that reason it attracts the hot air. Since it is colder and it cannot rise, it attracts the hot air. Okay, how it can attract the hot air? Just imagine how it can attract the hot air. Just imagine this is me, how I can attract the hot air. How I can attract the hot air. Now just imagine a ball of ice cube. Okay, if you leave the ice cube like that, what happens? It radiates coolness. Okay, and whenever anything radiates coolness, what happens? It melts, isn't it? The ice melts and it becomes water, and just because of that reason it attracts, since it is colder at night, when the heat comes and when the sun comes out and the environment becomes little hotter, it attracts the hot air inside the jungle, and it forms a circle around it, circle like this, and it creates a circle of the flow of air. To be honest, since it is cooler, it sucks up the it creates a vacuum like structure at the top of it, and it sucks up the air. And just because of that reason, the forest area is basically works as a lungs of the earth. Means it controls the airflow in that region. And just imagine it is a colder area, means just imagine it is a vacuum, and just imagine water vapors from the seas which is in the environment and which is floating in the atmosphere. And just imagine water vapor is floating in the atmosphere and it is sucking it up. And since it is a hot water which is floating in the environment, and since it meets the cool and very cool air of the forest, which is in the vacuum and which is in the circle, and when it happens, what happens, just like the ice, when the water vapor reacts with the oxygen and the cool air of the forest, it precipitates and it starts raining. So just because of that reason, the most of the tropical areas which contain lots of forest, even they are near to the equator, they get maximum rainfall, and just because of that reason they get that much of rainfall, and they are very cooler. And most of my followers ask me, sir, since it is closer to the equator, and if it is closer to the equator, and since just because of trees it becomes colder, I say yes, it can become colder. Just imagine the amount of just imagine you have a house, okay, and you don't have any exhaust fan in it, okay. Just put on one exhaust fan and on top of it, what happens? And open the window, your house becomes cooler, isn't it? Your house becomes cooler, and just like that, the tropical areas are much cooler than the what to say, even if you are living near to the mountains and it does not contain that much of trees, it does not have that much of oxygen in the environment, and just because of that reason it is not as cooler as the tropical region. And just because of this reason, the most of the tropical forest and most of the forest areas, even if it is a small forest, there is a more chances of rain in that area as compared to those areas which does not have the trees in it. Okay, so this video I am making for that follower who is from Canada, who used to ask me, sir, why in the world there is lots of rain in the what you call the tropical areas and the jungle areas and the forest area. So this video is I am making for him, so hope he enjoys the video. And that's all in today's video. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you are liking my good work. And if you are liking my good work, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I also have an Instagram account. You can go and check it out. You can get the link from top if you are on desktop, and if you are on mobile phone, you can get the link in the description. Okay, and I also have another channel, my second channel. You can go and check it out. It is also in the description box on top of it. Okay, so that's all in today's video. Thank you. Bye bye.